What is up, DTube? Steam blockchain. So today I want to talk about the topic of when Instagram females start seek financial inclusion or inclusiveness. So I saw this new post on the Steam blockchain from Solier. That's a Steam account, and she onboarded some new people to Apex, and it was I mean, this is something that I've been thinking about a very long time. The opportunity that Instagram had to the way Instagram has been a very interesting, let's say, experiment. When it came, I think I jumped onto it first in 2012, and well, Instagram has hit this sort of peak now where it doesn't seem like it can evolve that much further without adding some sort of financial aspect to it, where the users can send value to back and forth without the middleman. We see, of course, Facebook wants to sort of do something like this, but it seems like nothing is going to be here anytime soon. So they're trying to do it with Facebook, with Libra, but now we saw, I mean, they get issues with regulators and all this, and almost everyone backed off. So it does seem like they sort of need some kind of blockchain, some sort of system, something like a Steam blockchain. And it doesn't really seem like we're gonna have a blockchain in the Instagram app anytime soon. Now, I mean the next 5 years. So, so, so that means eventually, I think a lot of females are gonna start to seek new opportunities, especially if Instagram fails to implement some form of proof of brain system. But I'm not sure how they would do that without, because the like function is not a good measurement of proof of brain. So they would need some kind of monetary aspect, some kind of equal fair system or whatever. I mean, it does seem like they need a Steam blockchain. And it seems like they're not going to do it anytime soon. So it's very interesting to see when you're probably going to see a lot of females starting to seek more proof of brain systems, new technology, stuff that Geeks has been working on for 5 years. I mean, some projects even longer, but it's very interesting to see that eventually you're going to start to see probably this shift. And it doesn't have to be many, but if some are starting to realize the benefits of proof of brain, then that can really start a some kind of momentum movement. So first of all, in the world, we have a lot of monetary momentum that a lot of stuff is being monetized. Now, that can also get out of hand. I mean, that's something that we should be aware of, that proof of brain can get out of hand, because it's still in the consumer's hands, like how to use the technology. So that's kind of interesting to look at, but it's very interesting how, I mean, when I'm looking at how people are using the technology, it does seem like it's moving towards better systems. It seems like people are using the technology in more interesting ways. It seems as they're paying more attention. When they get more opportunities, it seems like they pay a little bit more attention to, wow, this is kind of like a cool open space. And this is really interesting when you compare, when you when you go back to Instagram, you feel so restricted. It's not like Instagram is bad. It's not about like good or bad, like this one is good, like this is now good and this is bad. No, I mean they're good for for in different ways. And I don't think this blockchain stuff is probably not for everyone, or like not everyone will be wanting to use it, but even when just a small tiny minority is using it, it does have, it seems like it has a lot of energy behind it, because it seems like people that really start to pay attention to the blockchain based stuff, they keep paying attention to it. And it's almost as, I think in many ways Instagram is more, it's a little bit more passive. So yeah, it's not as engaging, I would say, in many ways, because it's more about scrolling through a feed, and it's just different in many ways. Well, I think that the so-called blockchain industry, it's way more engaging, because it's way more stuff that is happening that you also can see how it can relate to you. So you can see a lot of failures, you can see a lot of big wins, and all of this. And it's going to be very, very interesting to see when you have a larger movement of financial inclusion, or financial inclusiveness, that you can say. And right now it's just a question about making the technology easier, and having access so people can have it right in their hands. And still is a little bit there to go. So, as I said in the past, that I think I said that these 2019 seems like 20% of the work has been done, and that there's another good 80% that needs to be done up to 2023, 2024. That is really when we're probably going to see some real interesting stuff happening. So it's going to be very, very cool. It's going to be very, very cool to see how people engage with these technologies and how they use them, because that's something that's really, really interesting. That, I mean, just because this blockchain space is so engaging, it's like when you give someone some form of token, they have way more capacity to influence stuff, because when they send that token away to maybe someone else or something like that, it's almost like they're pushing more weight than, I mean, you could feel it if you just clicking some like on, if you compare that, do that compared to go back and click a like on a photo on Instagram. It doesn't really seem like you're doing anything on the Instagram, while it actually feels like you actually are empowering someone, and that you're actually promoting in a way more interesting way on blockchain based systems. And even if it's just in a person's mind, I think that a lot of people feel that, yeah, I mean, it really is different. And that is really, really cool, because it can kind of spark a different generation, um, of creators. And it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. It can play out in so many different ways, but it does seem that when people eventually just have access and have, when it's just like an app, and it's a little bit, right now, for example, it's a little bit slow, because creating a Steam account and all that, it's one of these big things that slows down things a lot. But when you have, so first, people need the best or amazing smartphones. Smartphones getting better overall, but then they also need apps that are blockchain based, and then you need an easy way to get on board. And then one big thing also is you need easier ways to sort of understand new systems and concepts. But I think that a lot of that's going to be worked upon, but it's going to take some time, and it's going to take some work. It's gonna take a lot of time and energy and dedication to sort of understand stuff. But it seems like it's going to happen, which is kind of fascinating in many ways. So when people are getting these more and more powerful devices, they want to use them more, and it is a good transition to move from followers and likes to proof of brain. And it's going to be interesting to see that how that is going to evolve, and if people are going to, we don't know if people are going to create their own sort of apps and their own tokens. We don't really know, or if everyone eventually just going to use this thing that is a wearable and that is right there and that is sort of working already. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. So we're going to see this grow the next 3 to 4 years, and it's going to be very, very cool to follow. Been waiting for this a couple of years, and finally it's starting to happen, and that's awesome. Already I started to look at this 2016, but yeah, it was frustrating when the technology wasn't there. And I'm gonna see that again. I mean, we're gonna have even better technology in the future, and then I'm gonna look at 2019 as well. Didn't really have any technology then. Yeah, have a great day, DTube and the Steam blockchain. Bye bye.